Hey everyone. So today's class is going to be a slow flow style class, and we're going to be focusing on strengthening the hips primarily. So we'll definitely be getting into some other things like some core strength, some balance, and some stretching of the hips as well. But we're going to really focus our attention on a lot of the time on strengthening the muscles of the hips and really just paying attention to those muscles working. So let's go ahead and begin on our backs. You'll need one block. If you have one, bring it nearby, and let's go ahead and start. So let's start on our backs. And you can either start with the knees bent if you prefer, or the legs extended out in Shavasana. Just take a moment here to just start to notice how the physical body's feeling. Notice how you're breathing. And see if you can notice the depth of the breath, the length of the breath. And see if you can begin to detect the breath filling the body from bottom to top. Releasing from top to bottom. And let's see if we can deepen the breath maybe just a little bit more. So on your next inhale, count in for the count of 6. And then release for the count of 8. And seeing if we can keep that steady pace going. Inhaling for 6 and exhaling for 8. So staying very present with the breath. If the knees are bent, go ahead and extend the legs out. If they're extended out, we're going to bring them together and flex the feet. And now let's just hug the right knee in towards the chest and give it a squeeze. And flex that right foot. And just keep gently pulling the right knee in towards the chest, compressing the front of the right hip. Good, now notice where the leg is in space, that right leg. And we're going to release, but try not to let the right thigh release from the belly at all. So we're starting to already find engagement in the front of the right hip. Really feeling those hip flexors turn on here. Keep pulling that right leg towards you, using the strength of the hips. One more breath. Good, and then keeping that left leg extended down on the mat, we're going to cross the right ankle over the left thigh for a supine pigeon pose. And just let that right knee kind of dip down towards the floor. Just notice how that feels here in the front of the hips. We'll just be here for a couple breaths. And if you're feeling enough sensation, you can stay right here, of course. Otherwise, now start to drag that left heel up, bend into that left knee, and just set the sole of the foot on the floor. And then if that feels fine as well, you can pick up the left foot, interlace the hands behind the left thigh, and squeeze the thigh towards the belly. So now just getting a little bit of a stretch in that outer right hip. And just a few more breaths. And if you're fine here, you can stay here for this next part. If you want a little bit more though, We're gonna let go of the back of the left thigh, grab hold of the right ankle, and just kind of sneak the ankle down towards the hip a little bit. Bring the arms out to a T, and then we'll drop the knees to the left and take your gaze maybe to the right. You can also stay just looking up towards the ceiling. But we want to get the sole of that right foot on the floor. And then from here, take your left hand against the inner right knee, and let's start by just pressing knee into hand, hand into knee. So we're creating a little bit of resistance here. Good, and now stop pressing with the knee, keep pushing with the hand, and see if you can get a little bit more release there. And then just relax into it these last few breaths. Now really carefully, slowly start to come back to center, uncross the right leg, and we'll stretch both legs down to the bottom corners of the mat and just allow yourself to relax there, and even just notice any change between the sides. Notice if that right side feels considerably more relaxed. Good, and we'll even that out now. So walk the feet together, hug the left knee in towards the chest. And at first here, we're just giving it that light squeeze. Flex the foot, pulling the thigh close to the belly. Good, and now keep the thigh close to the belly, release the hands. So now we're working on to strengthen those left hip flexors. Keep pulling the thigh towards you, energetically pulling the leg towards you. Good, how about 2 more breaths? Good, and then just release. Cross that left ankle over the right thigh and allow the left knee to just relax down a little bit there. Good. Now if you're fine here, if you're feeling enough sensation, just stay here. Otherwise, begin to slide that right heel back towards you until you get the sole of the foot on the floor, and we'll pause there. Good, and then if you have more space, again, you can pick up that right foot, interlace the hands behind the thigh, squeeze the thigh towards the belly. Good, now, again, if you'd like to stay here, you certainly can. Otherwise, grab hold of the left ankle and kind of sneak it down towards the right hip. Release the arms out to the sides, and now we'll drop the left foot down to the right, the outer right thigh down to the right, maybe gaze towards the left. And then take your right hand and you're going to push the hand into the knee, knee into the hand. You might feel a little release here in the SI joint maybe, just in the low back, maybe in the hip. And then release and just relax into this for a few breaths. Good. Now again, really slowly start to back your way out of that. Uncross the leg and stretch both legs all the way down on the mat. And just notice either more symmetry between the sides, maybe it feels a little asymmetrical still, but just notice whatever's coming up here. Good. And now as we inhale, let's just stretch the arms overhead, stretch the legs towards the front of your mat. And as we exhale, hug the knees into the chest, give them a light squeeze. And go ahead and rock your way, if it feels okay, all the way over to a child's pose. So big toes touching, knees out wide, and have your block near the front of your mat. And just sinking those hips back towards the heels. And just relaxing into this. Notice the heaviness of the hips pressing back towards the heels. As we inhale, rise to hands and knees, table pose. And we'll start just traditional cat-cows. So as we inhale, dropping the belly, lifting the gaze. As we exhale, talking the tail, rounding the spine. Inhale, come through, drop the belly, lift the gaze. And as we exhale, talking the tail, rounding the spine, dropping the head. Coming back to neutral, and now we'll start by taking our right leg back behind us. And you can start with the toes on the floor. Actually, let's get a nice calf stretch here. So push back into that right heel, drop the weight of the head down. Good, as we inhale, come forward, lift that right leg up. Take a moment here. Now, as we inhale, we're gonna externally rotate the right leg so the toes will point out to the side, kind of like we're stacking the hips. Exhale, square the hips. Inhale to open that right hip up, turn the toes to the right. Exhale, square the hips. Good, this time as you inhale, rotate the leg to the right, kickstand that left shin back behind you and take the right arm all the way up in the air. Good, and you can just stay here if you want and focus on the strength in that right hip. Or if you want to get a little stretch in the front of the right thigh, bend into your right knee, reach back, catch hold of your right foot, and then push foot into hand, hand into foot, lean back, look over the shoulder. Good, as you exhale, release the right hand down, square the hips, and then sneak that right knee back behind the left knee, and we'll sink back into a cross-legged child's pose. So just sinking those hips back towards the heels. Good, inhale, come through, table pose. And we'll do that same thing on the other side now. So sneak the left leg back behind you, toes down on the floor. And let's push back into that left heel, drop the weight of the head. Good. Inhale, come forward, float the left leg up in the air. As we inhale now, we're going to turn those left toes to the left. So that's that external rotation in the leg, in the hip. Exhale, square the hips. Inhale, find that external rotation. Exhale, square the hips. Good, one more. Inhale, open up, kickstand that right shin back behind you, raise the left arm up in the air. And again, feel free to stay right here or bend into that left knee, catch hold of the foot, push foot into hand, hand into foot, look over that left shoulder. Good. And now as you exhale, square the hips and sneak that left knee behind the right knee for a cross-legged child's pose, sinking the hips back. Good. Inhale, come forward, drop the right knee, uncross that left knee, tuck the toes, and let's find a downward facing dog. So shifting those hips up and back, and just dropping the head, relaxing the heels down towards the floor. Finding that breath. Good. As you inhale, rise to the tippy toes. Exhale, press the heels back down towards the floor. And if you can get the heels to touch the floor, maybe lift the toes. If not, no big deal. Inhale, rise to the toes. Exhale, bend the knees, step forward between the hands. Inhale, lift and lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold, wrap the hands around the calf muscles, gently press in and pull up. Good, relax into those knees. Inhale, let's take the arms all the way up and overhead. And exhale, hands to the heart. Good, inhale, let's take those arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, top of a push-up. Good, separate the feet at least 1 footprint apart. Push into the floor, hug the upper arm bones in. Take an inhale. And then as we exhale, we'll dip the heels to the right. Don't lift that left hand, lift the right hip up, strengthening those outer hip muscles. Maybe feeling the obliques turn on a little bit here. Inhale, come up onto the tippy toes. Exhale, drop the heels down, push the floor away from you, lift that left hip. Good, inhale, rise to the tippy toes, come forward. Exhale, lower all the way down to the ground. Maybe drop your knees down first. Lower all the way down this first time. As we inhale, lift up into a cobra pose. So the shoulders are dropping down and away from the ears. Try not to take them up. Pull them down, squeeze the elbows in, breathe, gaze forward. Exhale, lower back down, press into the knees, table pose, and then downward facing dog again. Good. So for this downward facing dog, we're gonna take a little measurement here. So as we inhale, come forward, top of a push-up. So just make sure that we have good distance there between the hands and the feet. And then inhale, lift back and up to downward facing dog. Good, now we're gonna press into our left hand and float our right arm back behind us. So the palm is facing the hip here. Good, really stabilize with that left hand. Engage the belly. And then as we inhale, we're gonna float forward. Take the right arm forward really slowly. So we're on top of a push-up with one arm extended. And then inhale, lift up and back. Stretch that right leg back, or right arm back behind you. And then drop the right hand back down to the floor. Inhale, rise to the tippy toes. Exhale, step forward between the hands. Inhale, lift and lengthen. And exhale, fold. Grab your yoga block and set it about a foot or maybe a little less in front of your feet, and then just drop in. Good, push into those feet. Inhale, swim the arms all the way up and overhead. Exhale, hands to the heart. Good, walk the feet together. Inhale, let's take the arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Good, bend into the knees. Inhale, chair pose. Bring the arms back up in the air. And then just sink down a little bit more. Be light on the toes. See if you can maybe even lift all 10 toes. Good, as we exhale, drop the hands to your yoga block. So I've got mine up the tallest possible way. The heels of my hand are on the block and my fingertips are surrounding the sides there. Now push into your left foot, push into your hands, and as you inhale, you're just gonna float your right leg out to the right. Just take it up as high as you can, feeling the strength in the outer right hip, or maybe weakness in the outer right hip. Good, as we exhale, let's give that a break. Curtsy squat, bring the right knee behind the left knee. Good, inhale, extend that right leg back out to the right again. Exhale, take that curtsy squat. Good, one more time. Inhale, extend the right leg out to the right. Exhale, curtsy squat. Good, and now just step the right foot next to the left. Inhale, lift and lengthen. And exhale, fold, slide the block out of your way. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, top of a push-up. Good, make sure those feet are separated. And then drop both of your heels to the right. Good, this time we are going to lift that left arm up, lift the left hip up. Exhale, drop the left hand back down, come up onto the toes. Exhale, drop the heels to the left, raise your right arm all the way up, lift that right hip up. Exhale, drop the right hand down, come forward on the tippy toes. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pause here. And check in with the breath. Good. As we inhale, let's measure the distance here again. So as we inhale, come forward, top of a push-up. Exhale, lift the hips up and back. Stretch your left arm back behind you. Good. Inhale, slide forward again. Top of a push-up. Extend that left arm forward. Breathe. And then as we inhale, lift up and back again. Extending that left arm back. And then setting the left hand back down on the floor. Inhale, rise to the tippy toes. Exhale, step forward between the hands. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold, set your yoga block up. Inhale, sweep the arms all the way up and overhead. And exhale, hands to the heart. Good. Inhale, take those arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, bend the knees, swim the arms up for our chair pose. And sink down maybe a little bit deeper. Good, take one more breath in. Exhale, drop the hands down to that yoga block. Good, and just steady yourself there. Inhale, look forward, push more to that right foot. And let's take the left leg out to the left, as far to the left as you can get it to go. Good, exhale, curtsy squat, bring that left knee behind the right knee, give that a break. Inhale, extend the leg out to the side again. Exhale, scoot the left knee behind the right knee. One more time, inhale, take it out. Good, exhale, step it down, bend into the knees, softly fold forward. Inhale, lift and lengthen, move that block out of the way. Exhale, plant the hands, step back, top of a push-up. Good, take an inhale. As you exhale, drop the heels to the left, float your right arm up in the air. Good, exhale, drop the right hand down, come up onto the toes. Good, now drop your heels to the right, take your left arm up in the air. Exhale, drop the left hand down, come forward on the toes, chaturanga. Inhale through to upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. And again, just check in with the breath. Good, inhale, come forward. Let's measure our distance between hands and feet. Good, exhale, downward facing dog. Raise the right arm back behind you. Good, this time as you inhale, scoot forward, right arm comes forward. As you exhale, drop the heels to the left, raise that right arm up. Good, come back to top of a push-up. Let's lower down chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, rise to the tippy toes. Exhale, step forward between the hands. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold, soften the knees, place your yoga block. Inhale, arms rise all the way up and overhead. Exhale, hands to the heart. Good, let's walk the feet together. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, chair pose. Pause here. Good. Fold forward, drop the hands to that yoga block. And let's inhale, take that right leg out to the right, maybe lift it higher this time. Exhale, curtsy squat, right knee behind the left. Good, inhale to extend the leg out to the side. Exhale, knee behind knee. Good, inhale, take that right leg out to the side, pause there. Exhale, just float the right leg back to meet the left, bend into those knees. Inhale, back to our chair pose, push more into your left foot. And now as you inhale, stand up straight, bring the right knee with you. Good. Now flex the right foot, notice where that right leg is in space. And let's drop the hands down to surround the right knee, squeeze the right thigh in towards the belly, keep the foot flexed. Now, just like when we were on the floor, we're going to release the leg, but try to keep the thigh as close to the belly as it is right now. So release the leg, bring the arms up. Good, feel those hip flexors really working here. And if you want to, you can extend your right leg forward now, but try not to drop the right thigh. Breathe. Good. Let's cross the right ankle over the left thigh now and sit down towards a standing pigeon pose. Good, a couple more breaths. Good, push down into that right foot. As we inhale, we're gonna rise back up again. Bring the arms up, bring the knee up. And this time as we exhale, we're gonna fold forward, drop the fingertips to the floor, stretch your right leg all the way to the back of the mat. And then drop your right knee down to the floor. Untuck those right toes, inhale, lift up into a low lunge. Now stretching out those right hip flexors. Good, as we exhale, lean forward, bring the arms back in space, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Inhale, push into that left foot, rise back up, nice deep stretch in the front of the right thigh. Exhale, lean forward, bring the arms back in space, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Good, one more, inhale, rise up. Exhale, drop the fingertips down to the floor, tuck the right toes, lift the right knee, push into that left foot, and let's rise up to a crescent warrior and really strong. Good, just a few breaths here, keep your gaze forward. Good, as we exhale, we're gonna take a warrior two. So drop that right heel, open the arms to a T, stretch the arms. Reverse warrior, right arm down, left arm reaches up. Good, now as we exhale, drop the left fingertips down inside of the left foot, swing the right arm all the way over the right ear. See if you can press the back of your left arm into that left leg, open the chest a little bit more. Push into the left foot, inhale, arms rise all the way up and overhead. Exhale, swim the hands down to surround the left foot, slide it back, top of a push-up, maybe move your yoga block out of the way. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good, let's just keep going. Inhale, come forward, top of a push-up, measuring our distance here. Exhale, shift the hips up and back. Stretch that left arm back behind you. Inhale, come forward, stretch the left arm forward. Exhale, drop the heels down to the right, raise that left arm up. Good, exhale, take the left hand back down to the floor, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, rise to the tippy toes. Exhale, step forward between the hands. Inhale, lift and lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. Grab your yoga block, set it up. Inhale, arms rise all the way up and overhead. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, arms rise. Exhale, chair pose. And pause here. Good, drop the hands to that yoga block. And as we inhale now, take that left leg out to the left, maybe even further than last time. Good, curtsy squat, bring the left knee behind the right. Inhale, stretch that left leg out to the left. Exhale, curtsy squat. One more time, inhale, stretch it out to the side. And then exhale, set it right next to the left, sit down for chair pose. Inhale, arms rise. Push more into that right foot this time. Inhale, rise all the way up, bring that left knee up with you. Again, notice where it is in space. Wrap the hands around the left knee, squeeze the knee up and in just a little bit more without tucking the tailbones. We want to keep the length in the spine here. Notice where that left leg is, try not to drop it, but release the arms and maybe stretch the left leg forward. Good. Cross the left ankle over the right thigh for standing pigeon. Bring the hands to the heart, sink on down. Push into that right foot, let's rise all the way back up. Bring that left knee up with you. And then as we exhale, drop the fingertips down to the floor, stretch the left leg all the way to the back of the mat. Drop the left knee down. Inhale, low lunge, arms rise. Exhale, lean forward, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Good, drive down through the right foot and the tailbone, lift the chest, feel a deeper stretch in those left hip flexors. Exhale, lean forward. Good, inhale, rise up one last time. Exhale, drop the fingertips down to the floor, tuck those left toes, lift the left knee. Inhale, crescent warrior, now arms rise. So really strong here, keep the gaze forward, breathe. Good, warrior two, drop the left heel, open those arms to a T. Great, reverse warrior, left arm now, right arm reaches all the way up and over. Side angle, see if you can bring those right fingertips down inside of the right foot and the left arm all the way up and over that left ear. And now push the arm into the leg into the arm. Good, push into the right foot, rise all the way back up to warrior two. Exhale, swim the hands down to the floor, slide that right leg back, move the block out of the way. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Drop the knees to the floor and take a child's pose. Good, now come forward to hands and knees, and we're gonna take a pigeon pose here. So slide your right knee up to your right wrist, angle your right shin underneath you 45 degrees or more, and then begin to walk your left knee back in space just as far as you can. Now, before we lower down into this one, stay with me. We're going to work a little bit in this pose. So begin to press your right shin, your right knee, your right foot into the mat actively. Feel the outer right hip wake up. And now see if you can imagine pulling the right shin up towards you. So pull the shin up towards you. See if you can lower down into the pose just a little bit more as you pull up. Good, now push yourself away from the pose. Push the shin into the floor, the knee, the foot, lift up. Imagine pulling the shin back towards you as you lower partially down. Good, one more time. Push the shin into the floor, lift up, and now push the left foot into the floor. Push the left knee into the floor. Push the right shin into the floor. Push the right knee towards the floor. Breathe, and stay really active here. Good, and now lower all the way down as far as feels comfortable for you. Maybe the forehead all the way to the floor. And just enjoy maybe a deeper sensation of stretch. And see if you can breathe just a little bit softer. How about 3 more breaths here? And then lift the head, slowly press up. And we're gonna rock down on our right hip and slide the left leg around in front to meet the right leg. So you'll have the soles of the feet together here. Sit up really tall. Maybe close the eyes and just notice the difference between the sides. And while this right side is exhausted, we're actually going to ask it to do just a little bit of work. So stay with me, sit up tall, hug the belly in, bring the hands to the heart. Good. Now we're going to start to lean to the left. Don't drop your elbow to your knee, but you're just going to lean to the left and see if you can sneak your right leg out to the side, hovering in the air here, and then begin to pulse it up and down, just a few times. Next time you pulse it up, pause there, breathe. Good, and now come back up, join the right foot to the left foot, and go ahead and fold forward. And then go ahead and come back up. And if you want to, from here, you can go back to that table pose to get into your pigeon pose, or you can simply just sneak now that right leg back behind you and start to set up for our active pigeon here at first. So the top of the right knee is down. We're going to come up onto our fingertips. Push the floor away from you with that left leg. So the left shin is pushing into the floor. Lift the chest. Good. And now imagine pulling the left shin towards the chest as you lower down. So you're feeling outer left hip really turn on here. Push the floor away from you. Lift the chest. Press away from the pose. Imagine pulling the shin back towards you. Engage those muscles as you lower down partially. One more time. Push the floor away from you with the left shin. Lift up. Now stay here. Push the top of the right foot into the mat. Push the right knee into the floor. Push the left knee into the floor. Really, really active here. Push that left shin into the floor. Breathe. Good. And then melt down into it. Any amount, maybe bringing the forehead to the hands or the floor or a block. See if you can relax just a little bit more here. And slowly start to lift up. Good. And we're going to rock down on our left hip now. Slide that right leg around and join the feet together. And sit up nice and tall. Good. Now bring the hands to the heart. One more little piece of work there for that left side now. So we're going to lean to the right. See if you can sneak that left leg out to the side and maybe some little pulses. My left leg is very exhausted, so this is really, really, really hard for me, maybe for you also. A couple more pulses. Next time you pulse up, keep it there, breathe. Good. And come back to where you started. And again, we'll forward fold right over the legs. And press your way up. Let's go ahead and grab our yoga block and just carefully lay down onto our backs. Notice how your hips are feeling here. If you're anything like me, the whole front and side of the hips are feeling sensation, exhaustion. Maybe you're just starting to notice that area of the body. So we're going to take our block now, just carefully lift the hips up and slide the block under the sacrum. We're almost done here, just a tiny bit more. We'll start with the right side. So first stretch the left leg all the way down onto the mat and hug the right knee in towards the chest. And then see if you can completely relax that left leg. So maybe shake it out a little bit. Maybe the toes fall out to the left. So our left side is relaxed. We're going to work our right side just a little bit more, just one more time. So flex the right foot, squeeze that right knee in towards you. Remember, we did this when we were standing also. Now keep the knee as close to you as you can. Feel the hip flexors stretch, so that's our psoas muscle. As we release the arms out to the side. So we're feeling that catching here in the front of the right hip. Keep that right side really active. If you can, try to keep that left side relaxed. Breathe. Almost there. Keep hugging that right knee in. Just a little bit more work. Good. And switch sides. So begin to slide the left heel in. Stretch that right leg out. Just let it completely relax there on the floor as you hug the left knee in. And again, just maybe shake it out on that right side. Hug the left knee in a little bit closer now. So right leg is relaxed, left leg is going to be active. Flex the left foot, squeeze the knee in towards you. Try to keep the thigh as close as it is right now. Release the hands, feel the catching in the hips. Breathe. Keep breathing, keep pulling that knee in towards you. Good. And release. Go ahead and lift up off of the yoga block. Slide it off to the side. Let's hug both knees into the chest and just give them a light squeeze. Good, and then just stretching one leg and then the other down to the bottom corners of your mat. Let the arms rest alongside you. Allow the eyes to close. Let's take a nice deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, let it go. And just enjoy a few peaceful moments here resting in Shavasana. Whenever you're ready, just begin some movement back in the fingers and the toes, the wrists and the ankles, and turning the head softly from side to side. Let's bring the legs together, stretch the arms overhead, back behind you. And as you exhale, pull the knees in towards the chest, give them a squeeze. Either rock onto your side or roll on up to seated. And thank you so much for watching. Namaste.